Welcome to a conversation about Nada Yoga, the sound of manifestation. This conversation is brought to you by Jaspi. Jaspi Resto Cafe, based in Sadashiv Nagar, Bangalore, is India's first oil-free whole food plant-based eatery. It came to life in 2017, about a year after Nidhi Nahata, food therapist and E. Connell and Sharon certified health coach, experienced a tremendous boost to her and her family's health when she adopted the whole food plant-based lifestyle in her home. Jaspi serves delicious and healthy vegan food exactly the way nature has intended us to eat. We exist to bring Hippocrates' words to life, who said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." Jaspi Wellness offers health coaching for everyone so that they can be their best, including those looking to prevent or reverse lifestyle diseases like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension. We also have regular health talks by experts from the field of health and nutrition, events, weight loss programs, monthly cooking classes, and sound healing. We've also been having regular yoga sessions at the Wellness Studio since the time it started, and one of the people who has been associated with us since the very beginning is Meenal Nigam. We completed 3 years on June 3rd, 2020, and this conversation with Meenal Nigam is a part of a series of conversations which we are featuring this month on our social media platforms and YouTube channel.
So Meenalji, I have to thank you for being a part, such an integral part of Jaspi and providing our audience the experience of what yoga can be. World Music Day and Yoga Day is coming on the 21st of June, and it is going to be a very, very beautiful combination the way you bring with yoga and sound. And that to sound with music, sound of music, I can say. And my experience with you has been so beautiful. I know you since now 2.5 years, and I feel really fortunate to have met you and to learn so much from you about Nadi Yoga. And the audience, the classes which you have done, and I've seen audience really speak about how the chakras of their vocal has opened, and which I found one of the participants sharing with me saying that, Nidhi, I feel as if my confidence has opened up. When the sound opens up, it's the confidence. And it was interesting to know about how all of these things are so well integrated. So we would like to know from you about your journey and how you got into Nad Yoga and the history of how yoga and Nad and all of that you have integrated.
Thank you, Hemendra. Thank you, Nidhi, for a lovely introduction. I'm so happy to be, first of all, associated with Jaspi. And it's been, as you said, more than 2.5 years we are associated. I think just when Jaspi had started newly, that is when, through a friend, I got to meet you, Minu Jaipriya ji. She's no more.
Yes.
But it was very sweet of her to talk so highly about the cafe, about you. And I just couldn't wait to meet you. And I'm so happy I met you because, somewhere, Nidhi, there's a correlation between what we do. You bring spirituality into people's lives through food and through the knowledge of food. And I do the same through yoga and the different branches of yoga. So somewhere I thought there's so much of similarity, and what we do, we can together make a difference in society. And we joined hands some 2.5 years back, and I started my second batch, I remember, in Jaspi, and I got a lovely family of spiritual aspirants from there. And I'm forever thankful for that. They're still attached to me. The group, the Sadashiv Nagar group, and also the Manyata group where you stay. And they're lovely people. Jaspi, I would say, is, an eye-opener for me. Because knowing so much about the Ayurveda-based lifestyle, there were still some few things that, I was not very clear about. And when I heard your lectures, when I attended a few classes on cooking and other holistic ways of living, I was highly impressed. And I had been telling all my students to go and, attend your lectures, your talks, and that is transformative at some other level. So I'm really happy.
Thank you.
About my journey, I'm not good at talking about myself, maybe, but I'll try my best. I'm from a musical family, and ever since I opened my eyes, I could just see my parents singing and performing, and I was really proud to be a part of my family. But I was not into music myself. I was not into the commercial music. I would admire my parents, my brothers singing together. They were a team. All three of them would every day in the evening, even in the mornings, they would sit together and they would pick up new songs, mainly the songs of Rafi Sahab and Lata ji, and then they would talk about the nuances of those songs, and I would just admire them and little bit learn, about music through them. And I also tried singing a little bit when I was a kid, but I was never into commercial music. And I still remember all three of them used to go out, every evening to perform on different functions, and I was the only one. Then they would take rest in the afternoon for that, preparing for the evening events. I would get bored because I had nowhere to go. I would be at home, or I would accompany them for the show, but I had no part to play. So I would just get bored in the afternoon. So I would sit in front of the old radio that we had during those days. I was just 9 years old, and I would listen to the bhakti music. I don't know, that time around 3:30 they would play some bhakti music, and I would break into tears listening to some of those bhajans, which are very close to my heart still. So I remember that I was drawn towards bhakti without even understanding the deeper meaning of what the song is trying to convey. So that is how I started liking it, and I didn't realize that I love it, I like it. I just thought that I'm not made for this. I was more into yoga, more into spiritual. I would talk about God, I would talk about gurus, I would talk about the pyramids, that would heal. So I would look for topics for people who would discuss things with me like this. And later in life, around 19, when I was 18, 19, I got to meet my first teacher, and fortunate to meet her. And she comes from the Bihar School of Yoga background, and she initiated me into that style of yoga. And I had a couple of problems, very, I don't know how to express, but I had a problem writing. I couldn't write. And that happened when I turned 13, 14. So I just couldn't form letters. And then obviously it was a very weird thing. I had never heard about it. My parents were also very, perplexed what is happening to her. So I couldn't, beyond a point after 10, 15 minutes, I couldn't form letters. So for me, it was a nightmare to sit for exams because I just couldn't form letters after half an hour. I would pop in some pills and Combiflam and relaxants and stuff like that, and go on for another half an hour, but then it was a drag. So I wouldn't be able to function properly at times when I would sit for exams. So then later when we shifted to Bombay for my brother's career, I met my teacher, Dr. Ruhi, and she initiated me into yoga, and it helped me great. And you wouldn't believe that for me, doing Kapalbhati was the biggest challenge. Have you heard about that before? Doing 3 to 4 rounds only. Kapalbhati is so simple. And doing 3 to 4 rounds of Kapalbhati would make me feel giddy, and I would get blackouts. So then starting from zero actually, and below zero, I would say minus, I reached where I am today. I'm nowhere, but I'm just, being a medium to help people, and I understand their problems, because my problem nobody could understand, because nothing would come in the x-rays, nothing would come in the MRI, everything was fine, but I couldn't form letters. I had severe pain in my shoulders and arms throughout my youth. Much later in life, when I was 30, when my son was born, I realized that this is the only field that can keep me sane. I tried my hand in other things also, did not succeed. So finally, I took up yoga as my career, and I started teaching. That was the only way to be in touch with yoga 24/7. So that's my story.
That's beautiful, and there are so many challenges which you have come through, and here you are, and to be also a part of usually it is the Nigam family, and we Sonu Nigam is so famous and the whole world knows him, so it feels like the whole family will be into singing. But you chose a but Meenalji, there is something which I want to share, that you sing too very beautifully. I have heard you singing, and it's a gift.
See, I just do the spiritual songs, the bhakti songs, that's all. And I enjoy it because it stirs the soul, it connects you. And you know how Nad Yoga came into existence? Because, you know, rishis realized that this sound is the basis of our life. So that's something that can heal us from the core. So knowing that, I sing for my soul.
No, and it is, you know, your singing is very, very spiritual, definitely, because there is something which touches not only in me, but so many people whom I have, you know, all the participants, because I know so many of them, the Just Be family, extended family, you know, and they all say that the experience which they feel after Nad Yoga or chanting, I think such a beautiful gift you're sharing with the world. And I really want to thank you deeply for that.
I'm glad. Nidhi, you understand the subject so well. I'm so happy. And you've been, you know, certain things you say about Nad Yoga that I also get into thinking that, wow, this I never thought of. Nidhi knows so much already. So I'm happy, Nidhi. And
so
it's
my,
a pleasure.
actually, you know, the last 2 years back when I went to Auroville to understand about the sound healing room which we have, and we
Swaram.
had Nad Yoga, the Swaram. And we had Nad Yoga as one of the subjects during my training period. And what I experienced there was really got me connected. And I definitely understand that subject much deeper after doing the course. And I think this is one of the form which is very, very close to me. Yeah.
Nidhi, I think everybody should experience the Swaram experience. It's really amazing. I have done it with you a couple of times, with Rashmi also. And it takes me to another world, because, you know, knowing that music is in every single atom and cell in our body, when you go into that room is already filled with beautiful vibrations. And then on that bed, and then you start using those divine instruments like the harp and other things. It really takes me to another level, and everybody should experience. This is something new. So when we talk about Nad Yoga,
have you integrated the yoga and sound, and you know, we call it Nad Yoga, mean the sound yoga, right? Usually people think that yoga means body movement and asanas and pranayam and, you know, all of that, where pranayam is also so much linked with sound, right? So how does that, how do you integrate this? So
Nidhi, this is an integral part. Music is an integral part of spiritual evolution. Swami Niranjan Ji also says this, that it is very essential for a person to be musical. So it's not necessary that you must know how to play an instrument or to sing. He's not talking about that music. Yeah, of course, if you use your vocal cords and create some sound, that will help you to evolve faster. Plus, if you look into it in such a way that every thought is creating music, every gesture is creating music, every intent or every prayer is creating music. So if you just keep in mind that what I'm creating is being put out in the universe, and that is my identity which I am projecting to the world. So if you put out wrong thoughts, negative thoughts, if you put out wrong intentions, this is how people, or let's not talk about people, the universe will recognize us as this person who has put in this kind of trash in me. You know, universe is the holder of everything. You know, it's a container. So whatever, and we are all contained within the universe. And if we are projecting something which is not conducive for the growth of other people, definitely, you know, we are not leaving a good impression on the universe, on the people, on the other forces. You know, so they will never come as a support to us, because they also have to resonate with us somewhere to support us, to fulfill our desires and dreams. But if we are not resonating with them, they will keep away from us, from such people. You know, So sound is very important. What we do is, because, you know, since you know that all chakras have a certain number of petals. So Muladhara has 4, Swadhisthana has 6, Manipur has 10, Heart has 12, and Vishuddhi has 16. Maximum number of petals are here, because we don't consider Sahasrahar as a chakra from this dimension. It is a chakra from the next dimension. So we don't talk about those 1,000 petals. we talk about the maximum number of petals or matrikas being held by the Vishuddhi. So when the Vishuddhi is exercised by, for creating certain sounds and frequencies, as you know that all the 7 swaras, in fact there are 12 notes. So all those 12 notes have a particular vibration or frequency. So those frequencies have created us, And if we practice those frequencies and try to match the perfect pitch of those frequencies, then we are, creating a very auspicious energy within us. So that's why we do the Swar Sadhana. It's a very important part of Naad Yoga, and people think that, what is this? Is she a music teacher or something? I'm not a music teacher at all. I'm learning music myself now, very late in life, but trying to. So, but Swar Sadhana is not to become a singer. Swar Sadhana is to apne swaron ko sadhana, You have these notes inside of you, vibrations. You have to hone, those different potential, the skills that are there in potential form. So you have to bring it out alive through the medium of the sound. So when you do sa, some people, and I'm not saying I'm perfect in that, I'm also learning. This sound has to be perfect and smooth. So sa, these have, this sound has cracks. So you cannot go about mastering this note if the voice is shaky. So you have to try to bring a smooth sound. Sa, it can improve, of course. Re, and as long as you can stretch the out breath, as long as the out breath lasts, you have to sing. Ga, and then sa, re, re, ga, ga, ma, ma. This way we are trying to actually create different combinations of energy within us. So sa, re, re, ga, ga, ma, ma, pa, this way. So you're combining the two notes, and this way you're combining the two, you're trying to resonate the two nadis somewhere. That these nadis hold these frequencies. There are lakhs of nadis inside of us. Nadis means the energy pathways. So the energy pathways are, you're awakening the energy pathways and trying to, combine the sounds which are individually running on these pathways. So it's a deep science, but I'm just trying to cut it short and convey it to you and the viewers how it is connected, how the Swar Sadhana will actually, open up your chakras. So we use Swar Sadhana to open up the chakras. We use Swar Sadhana to open up the nadis. Mainly the Ida, Pingla and Sushumna Nadi. Yes.
So I really liked the way you said that we need to own our own sound. We don't own it. And, when you mentioned that we speak mindlessly, we don't mean most of the things is because maybe we don't know how to own our own sound, our own voice. We're so disconnected with each one of them that we don't even know how to correctly even use it.
Yes, you're right, Nidhi. The I love yous come out so easily, but do you know the meaning of love? What amount of sacrifice and what amount of whatever it requires, love is not so easy.
Maybe, love is such a small word to the feeling of when you feel loved. It is just such a small and ordinary word, when like I am so much in love with my own work. But I can't say I love you, my work. It just sounds so small. There is so much. I don't even have words for that.
So the actual love you'll not be the frequency of love. You cannot create with the vocal cords. It's not possible. Yeah. So it's better not to even try. And
even if you try, just feel it.
I mean, if you just give a beautiful, if you're gifting somebody something, and if it's wrapped in some tattered cloth or something, it'll lose its value, right? So anything, even if it is small, but it's gifted and wrapped up nicely and presented in a certain way, will hold more value. And it's not just about the gift, it's the way you present it also. So it's not just about the words, but how you use those words, how it will impact the person, when you use it in a certain way. So you will be highly regarded if you know the correct usage of word at the correct time.
Yeah, and it will add more weight to what you're even saying.
Yes,
because and people will want to listen to you. There are some people whom we can't listen to. There are some people whom we can continuously listen to. Like I can keep listening to your singing, non-stop. I can keep singing, listening to you, and whenever we've had our long chats,
Yes,
there's always
yes.
been so much of learning, because I think that's what, the way one speaks and adds more weight and value to the words which we are
the
using.
words.
Yes.
So words are so precious, Nidhi. We're just using it frivolously. So losing its strength every day.
And I know through Nadi Yoga how it really adds so much of alignment to our being, and how we then use our words, that it adds so much. Would you want to say something that how can it be connected? Would you like to say something on that?
Nidhi, I think that see, people may bless you, God bless you, may you get success, may you get this, that, everything. But because they have frivolously used their words don't hold any value. The universe, they have lost it. They have overused the words, and the words have lost its value. So when they actually mean to bless somebody, it will not hold the same power. So if you really want your words to hold the power, use it discreetly. Use it when it's required, as much as it's required. Don't waste it. It's like money. We don't throw money like that. How much ever we may have, we'll still think before paying 100 rupees extra to somebody. We'll still calculate, why are you charging me extra? Similarly, you have to be very conjuice when it comes to using the words. You have to save or conserve the vibrations that you're born with, and try to purify it, because our aim is to get the strength back in the 52 matrikas that we are made up of. And once the strength is regained, then the journey becomes very smooth, and it's only the uphill journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'd like to ask you, we have a workshop coming up, which you'll be starting from 15th July. Introducing that workshop a little later in the session. But just for the audience, we would like to know who can participate in Nadi Yoga, and how will professionals like vocalists or professional speakers and even lay people, somebody who goes to office or somebody who's a student, how can they benefit from its practice?
So thank you for asking that question, Hemendra. Commonly people ask me this question, and to cut the long story short, everybody, all age groups, from the age of 6 to the age of 100 also, everybody can become a Nadi Yogi, because let me tell you, we are all Nadi Yogis as it is, right from the mother's womb. The first faculty to develop is the faculty of hearing, and the last faculty to die is the faculty of hearing again. That's why people chant mantras, somebody passes away, because that person can still hear you. Everything else is gone, but the hearing is still there. So after the age of 6, children understand, they as it is, we are sound beings, so they create all sorts of funny sounds, and ooh, ee, ooh, all of that. The children do it all the time. So they're also practicing Nadi Yoga somewhere, but they don't understand. But at the age of 6, by the age of 6, they understand what songs are, and we start a very light session with them, some music, some bhakti geet, and Sare Gama, Alankar Riyaz. They enjoy that. And for householders, let me tell you, for householders, mostly the ladies, they forget their own worth, because they are so busy serving the others in the family. So they forget their own sound. The aim is to get you back in touch with your own original, true, authentic sound. That is the aim. So once you start doing these things, when you start creating these different matrika sounds with the help of your vocal cords, you understand yourself better. So you can, I always say that it's not taking you away from your duties. It will enable you to do your duties even better, because you will understand what you need, and you will cater to yourself also, so that in the long run, you don't end up being frustrated and, feeling stifled of all the burden and pressure on you. So give yourself this half an hour practice in the morning as a gift, for what you do for the others. So do that. So for the householders, it's equally important. And so many of my students have told me that they'd forgotten all about their passion for music, and suddenly it is, it's there. It's there out there again. So they're enjoying the journey. And for the business people, for people who are working, it is important because most of them who go out to earn money, to face the real world, they are more left brain, So they are more logical, analytical, more practical, sometimes very selfish also, So because they only talk and think in terms of gain and money and, whatever. For them to understand how important it is to keep alive your creative side, which is your right brain, is very important. And if it is done at the right time, they will not end up in hospitals and in a difficult situation with hypertension, with heart diseases, diabetes, and all of this is a result of more left brain thinking. So keeping a perfect balance between right and left brain is very essential. So the creative side is also growing, and of course your material side is also growing and flourishing.
So Meenal-ji, that brings me to the next point where we would like to know what are the top 3 tips for people to get started on this. Suppose they just want to get a flavor of this at their home, do something.
So Hemendra, it's again a very beautiful question. How they can get started without even joining the batch? Yes. They can start listening to the sound of their breath to begin with. Because breath is the best friend we have, right? The prana enters our body through the breath, and then the stale prana leaves our body through the breath. So breath is our best companion. So if we listen to the breath to begin with, the breath that supports us from the beginning till the end, if we understand that this is my best friend, this is my permanent companion on planet Earth, we will understand life better, we will understand ourselves better, and our sound will start to reveal itself, to us. Our sound, the inner sound, the sound of the Atma, we say the intuitive faculty will start working because you're listening to your breath. And breath holds all the information that is in the universe. All the information is there within your breath. Just have to calm down your breath. Try to breathe not 20 times, not 15 times a minute, but 10 times, 12 times, 8 times. It's good enough. That will bring so much peace to you and so much calm that you will understand your life better and you'll be directed properly for the next step, for the next So the second thing that people can do is listening to the different sounds that are playing in the background all the time. So we select, we only want to listen what we want to listen. Sometimes people are talking to us, and not just about the surrounding sounds, but I'm talking about sometimes we are such bad listeners that we would hear what we want to hear. So we will not understand the undercurrent of what is being told to us, And a lot of times people cannot convey properly because they're not very good with words, They're not very good in expressing what they mean. So you can understand those people better, correctly, if you learn how to read the silence behind the sound. You're getting it? There is silence that holds the sound, and that silence has the information of the true essence or true meaning of the sound. The sound, the words can be deceptive, words can be misleading, but the vibration of what is being told to you it cannot deceive you if you learn to listen to the silence behind the sound. So be good listeners to your spouses, to your children. Many a times we are blamed at one point of time, some years back, I was also blamed that you don't listen. You're not a good listener. So I rectified that and I'm still trying to improve. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm trying to improve. So being good listeners will benefit you in many ways. And then the sounds of the nature. There's so many sounds that the nature is producing all the time, but we ignore it. We don't feel the need to listen. But you'll become better listeners if you try to grasp as many sounds in the nature as possible.
Oh, these are such beautiful and powerful tips. It was just today I'm with my parents and I was just, mom was trying to say something and she's not very good in expressing. There are so many people who can't express very well and they're misunderstood,
Very true.
And that's what my mom, when you're saying that, that's what my mom was trying to explain to me in the morning today, that so many people misunderstand me, And then we as a family were just talking that, we need to understand mom's intention, which is again a vibration, then
Yes.
just words,
Very, very true. Very true, Nidhi. I also have seen a lot of people suffering because of this problem. They don't know how to
Yeah.
express, and poor thing, they're
Yes.
only talking for somebody's good, and they're being misunderstood.
Yeah.
And then
So
they become very
beautiful.
conscious. Yeah.
So I really, really appreciate what you said is something that we need to even listen beyond words. The second one, which you mentioned, it's sometimes so much that we just need to listen to what is not said. So beautiful.
So Meenalji, you've already talked about how you got to know Nidhi, but you'd like to talk about your relationship with Nidhi, which started, I think, 2 years back.
Yes. More than that.
And your relationship with Just
Be.
Yeah.
You know what? In short, I can say I am me when I'm in Just Be. I am, it's
I love that.
I am me. I'm nobody. I'm just Meenal, and my name is also me, starting me. So I enjoy my time in Just Be. Many a times I feel, why did I come here? I'm not hungry at all, and it's not time for tea yet or coffee yet. But why am I here? So I come with my notebook and my pen, and I start creating. I have my cup of coffee or the smoothies that you offer. Beautiful. And the environment that you have created in the cafe is so nice. I think everybody working in the cafe reflects a part of you, a philosophy, a part of the philosophy that you propagate. I don't know how you've done that to them. It's been only 3 years, and I'm sure that staff keeps changing also, but they're all molded. I don't know how. I see a glimpse of Nidhi in everyone who's working there, including Hemendra. So nice that I just sit there and the plants are there, and the purity of food that is being cooked in the kitchen, the purity of people who are sitting there, because all of them are vegans. And I feel that those vibrations are helping me to create something beautiful. So I create my meditations there. I sit and talk to my father sometimes, my sister sometimes. It gives me a lot of peace. Sometimes you don't get it in the house, or you're bored of the same environment. So you want a house, a home, outside. And that is like
beyond your home. Yeah.
Yes. That's like my second home, because it's, first of all, conveniently very close to my house.
Thank you for those generous words. It's really a pleasure to hear that from you, and I am so glad that you connect to Just Be in such a way, because that's what my intention is, to bring Just Be for a home away from home. That's
Yes.
what we want to do. And and
you're doing a great job. Let me tell you that if people follow what you are teaching them, and if they take it seriously, your words are precious. What you say really, really means a lot, makes a lot of sense, not just to me, but a lot of other people, who have visited your place, who've experienced the Just Be life. So I am hoping that more and more people walk on this path. And because you are one such person who really walks her talk. So I'm hoping and wishing you so many students and so many such opportunities where you open many Just Bees, not just in Bangalore, but in India, maybe abroad, wherever, because it's doing a lot of good to people. Thank you for that, Nidhi.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those beautiful words and beautiful wishes. And yes, and I also wish many more such outlets open, and many people open such kind of food, which is good for all of us and the coming generation.
That's true, Nidhi.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Meenalji, you could talk about the upcoming workshop that you'll be doing in association with Just Be.
Yes, Hemendra, we'll be starting with, initially, that we used to have 12 sessions in one batch, but now because people have commitment phobia, and I just want to introduce this concept to them. And it's not just the introduction, it's a lot of other things that we teach. It's better that I see the level of sincerity, and if they are really sincere about the practices of Nad Yoga, then they can enroll for another 4 classes, which will follow, and that's how it is easy for people who just want a taste of it and see if it is something that is meant for them or no. So they get an idea in 4 sessions, and this journey, as I told you, the students who are connected to me through Just Be and Manyata, they are still with me today. So we have a practice session every Thursday, and it lasts 2.5 years. We've been having this session, and it's great. We are all progressing. I'm learning along with them. I'm a student for life. So I'm learning with my students. I'm also evolving. So this way, it's a short course, 4 sessions commitment, that's all.
Right. So we'll be sending out the details of the workshop on our social media platforms and also through our WhatsApp broadcast list. And we hope many people will benefit from the grace.
I'm hoping to Hemendra and Nidhi. I hope people benefit from these 4 sessions. It's nothing. 4 sessions is just 8 hours in a month. But it's, something that will change your life. I'm hoping, if you understand.
I am so sure that it is going to benefit people, whoever are going to be joining, because and I know they will, once they join, they will want to continue it for life, and that's what we have experienced. So
that's right.
15th of July, we look forward to see you, Meenal ji, starting this session.
Me too.
And thank you so much for providing this to the Just Be audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Hemendra. It was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
We look forward to your sessions from July 15th.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.